You belong on every ground your feet grace, so don't ever feel out of place. Take up space and belong. This earth is your birthplace. So, episode 2 starts off with the girls playing a game. They're playing the your husband is perfect, but I think one of them was like, your husband is perfect, but he never wears shoes. And you got to decide if you still would want them or not. And I forgot which one of the girls, but she's being jokey and she's like, girl, I'm with everything. Like, he could be this, he could be that, we could be dirty hippies together or whatever. Then it goes to Hannah talking to the girls about how she regrets ending things with what was the guy name? With Nick. She regrets ending things with Nick or whatever. And I think the reason why Hannah feels the way that she feels is just because she heard Brittany call Leo's name, and Leo was her number one, is what she said. But she act to me like Nick is more so her number one than Leo. So her saying that he's her number one, I don't know. She ain't acting like it to me. But now she's regretting it or whatever. And so it goes to Monica and Steven having a date. And they both are just talking about like what they want. And Monica says she doesn't want perfection. She doesn't want to be expected to be perfect. And so Steven thinks that this is the perfect time for him to tell her that he cheated before and he's branded a cheater. He guessed he's branded a cheater or whatever. And he goes into explaining why and how people have different meanings of cheating or whatever. Um, and she kind of like excuses it. She tells him like, I think you're being too hard on yourself or whatever. You should just forgive yourself. And while that's true, you should never make a person feel like you're okay with them doing something, because that's how it came off. Do I feel like she should hold him for cheating because he didn't cheat on her? So no, I don't feel like she should like let let it get between their connection or nothing like that, because it's his past. However, you also should not make him feel like it's okay that he cheated. You shouldn't make him feel like, oh, that was just a small thing. Forgive yourself and move on with your life because it wasn't that big of a deal. You shouldn't make him feel like that. But that's how she came off to me, and I feel like that's a mistake. um I'm like the dude that I was saying, that the dude that was talking about himself being rich, was that Leo or Garrett? Because they look alike to me. The one who like is bragging about being rich, I think it's Garrett, the one that's bragging about being rich, right? And I think both of them are dating Brittany, um, and Hannah, if I'm not mistaken. But Brittany and Leo are on a date, and Brittany tells Leo that she accidentally said his name in the woman's quarters. I don't think she did it by accident. I think she did it on purpose to kind of see who else, he was talking to or whatever. Um and y'all know, after she said that, Hannah, that's when Hannah started regretting what she did or whatever. But they're talking and she's like telling him like how much she likes him. She gets emotional, and she is, I guess, fishing for him to give her the same energy back. But he's listening. He tells her, and then he tells her like, um, before you were my number two, but like after this conversation, you both are my number ones. He doesn't say Hannah name, but we know it's Hannah. She knows it's Hannah. And he's like, you're both my number ones. But like, if both of them are your number ones and Brittany just became your number one after this conversation, she's still your number two. You can't have two number ones. That's not how it goes. She's still your number two. So what was the point of you even saying that? Like, you're both my number ones. And after he says that, her mood changes. Cause I feel like she wanted to be bumped up, which was why she started like telling him, I like you, and like, I don't know if this doesn't work out or whatever. And he's telling her like, if this doesn't work out, then I will remember you forever. Like, you'll be important to me forever, but I'm not gonna be with you, so why does that matter? Like, what does that got to do with anything? But her mood changes after she says it. And he tells her like, you know, I like you, whatever. And I think he told her, tell her that he was thinking about her, whatever. And she's like, I understand that, but I don't know, because it's like, you just told me that I'm tied for your number one spot with somebody, which means that I'm still your number two. So like, what are you talking about? But I feel like her mood changes because she tried to win him over, tried to get the number one spot, but she just ended up staying exactly where she already was in his life, number two. So Hannah and Nick go on another date. And she kind of just wanted to talk to him before he left, in case he left. I don't know where she got the idea that he was going to leave. I don't remember him telling her that, but I don't know. Did she think that he was only talking to her or something? I don't know. But she tells him she feels bad for breaking it off with him or whatever. And he was saying, like, I just respected whatever decision you were making, and I want you to be happy and find somebody that's good for you. Um, and she kind of admits that the girls were the ones who told her that she needed to cut him off, that she needed to cut somebody off, and they needed to be him. And he like, so you went with like what they told you? And she's like, yeah. And you know what? I feel like Hannah is young, so she doesn't know what to reveal to somebody and what not to reveal. Not necessarily how to lie, but like, why are you telling this person everything? Like, why are you telling him the girls told you to leave him alone and that you listen? Because if somebody came to me and was like, yeah, my friends was telling me that I needed to leave you alone, and I listened, and now I feel bad, I would not give them another chance, because you can't even make a decision for yourself. You had other people make a decision for you, and like, you want to be with me when you can't even decide for, no, I wouldn't give her another chance. So they start talking, and he's trying to understand why she kind of like quit on him so quick. And it seems to me like she doesn't feel like she deserves him. It seems like she's built up this idea of who he is because of how he talks and stuff like that. And she feels like she doesn't measure up to the ideals that she built up of him, even though she doesn't even really know him outside of the interactions in the pods. She says she's scared that he's going to break her heart and she's not going to be what he expects. And he's trying to tell her, like, I don't care about how you look. Like, I like you. I want you. I want to be with you. Your looks does not matter. But she seems to have a hard time believing that. And that's essentially because she doesn't think that she's beautiful. She doesn't think that she deserves somebody like him. And that's unfortunate. But by the end of their conversation, they kind of decide that they're going to continue to get to know each other or whatever. And honestly, this relationship is one that I really and truly am not invested in or whatever. But I do feel like she should give him another chance if that's what she wants to do. And if he breaks her heart, then he breaks your heart. Like, you have to just take that risk. Yeah, that might happen. You might be right. They might break your heart. Unless that person is has some type of like personality that is detrimental to you, I don't see the harm in seeing how it plays out. Um so then Hannah goes on a date with Leo, and Leo seems to be feeling Hannah more than he's feeling Brittany, because he was holding back quite a lot when he was talking to Brittany, but he's not holding back when he's with Hannah. And if Leo is the guy that was talking to all of the guys about Brittany and Hannah and trying to like weigh his options or whatever, um no, that was Tyler that was saying that he wanted a woman that make him feel safe. But the guy who I'm thinking about, and I said his name was Garrett, but I don't know if it's Garrett or Leo. Like, I don't know. They just look a lot alike to me, and I can't tell a difference. And it doesn't really help when I'm watching, and sometimes the name is on the screen, but sometimes it's not. So I be getting confused, but y'all can correct me in the comments if y'all know what I'm talking about. But the two of them, they call each other twin flames or whatever. And honestly, a twin flame is somebody that it always feels right with, but the timing is never right, or something is never right for y'all to actually be in a relationship. I've never seen twin flames in a relationship and it working out. It's always this person makes me feel safe and comfortable and they understand me like nobody else does, but there's always something that's blocking the two of y'all from getting in a relationship. So the twin flame thing, I don't know. I don't know if I would date somebody who felt like that to me. But unless they prove that, or unless the circumstances are favorable for us. But it goes to Taylor and Garrett. And Taylor gives Garrett an avocado plant and she says that it's a timeline for when she would be ready to have kids. He gives her honey made by his dad. So they gave each other gifts. I enjoyed watching the two of them connect. So then it goes to Bodan, I think is how you pronounce his name, and Marissa. They seem to have a good connection. They bond over reading and other nerdy things. And I love me a good nerdy couple. I feel like there should be one of those on all of the dating shows or whatever. They just seem to have a really cute connection, and their connection seems pretty healthy as well. Like the things that they talk about, they're not necessarily bonding over trauma, but he does start talking about being Ukrainian and being supportive and wanting to go and help them fight in the war. And like he gets emotional when he tells her, like, when he came and told his family that he was going to go to fight in the war, they told him, like, we were waiting for you to come talk to us because we know that you would want to help or whatever. And it makes him emotional. She supports him through that situation. Their connection just seems really healthy to me. It seems healthy the way that they communicate with each other, the things that they have in common, the support, the emotional support, and all of that stuff that they give to each other. He feels comfortable enough to be vulnerable with her. She doesn't make him feel bad. The connection between her and Bodan seems really healthy or whatever. So it goes to Marissa and Ramses on a date. And they talk about how comfortable they feel with each other, and stuff like that. He tells her that he was married, and she asks him, like, are you still in contact with your ex? And he says no. And they talk about their lives or whatever. And he says that he's never felt good enough for his dad. Um and Ramses comes off as, I hate the words masculine and feminine, but he comes off as a man who's in touch with his feminine side, and a man who, to me, is well rounded and not just what they call military masculine, the typical idea of what masculinity is. And I love the fact that they're having this conversation. And he's talking about like his experiences with men. He's talking about his friends, and he feels like they have shown him what it means to have healthy masculinity. And I feel like that's important when it comes to men. And I feel like Marissa is one of those black women who doesn't try to put black men in a box and make them have to fit in a box for her to love them and like give them a chance and date them or whatever. And I'm the same way. Like, I don't expect men period to be a certain way. Like I don't expect the military masculine. Like if they were gender fluid, or if they were a man that was in touch with their feminine side, if they were pansexual, if they were bisexual, I would still give them a chance. But it's a lot of heterosexual black women that wouldn't, because I saw a video that Jessie Woo did, and she was talking about Ramses, and she was always talking about his hair, like one braid, calling him one, two braid, or three hairstyle, whatever, three hairstyles. And she says that she feels like he's gender fluid. He never said that he was gender fluid. I feel like black women, y'all need to stop putting these labels on these men when they themselves have never said it. He never said he was gender fluid. He never said any of those things. He said that you can tell that he's a black man that's in touch with his feminine side. And to y'all, that looks like gay. Y'all associate a black man who's not, like they say, the military masculine. They're not, like, a lot of times homophobic, they're not sexist, they're not, because y'all love to talk about the positives of those men. And I don't really, to me, it's not a whole lot of them. Like the positive things, like y'all will say that y'all want military masculine men, y'all will say that y'all want masculine men, but y'all have an issue with some of the things that they do, in the way that they behave and the way that they carry themselves. And then you wonder why you keep coming across men like that, because you have a certain idea of what a man is supposed to be. And you keep coming across men who are, strong and masculine, and they can protect me. And if, and then when y'all have the same issues with different men in your relationships, and you wonder why, and that's why. Because y'all are saying that y'all like masculine men, but what you're attracting is toxic masculinity, because that is the norm in our society. The man who is the provider, the protector, because y'all seem to think that in order to have a man that provides for you, he has to be toxic masculine, or he has to be super masculine. Men who are in touch with their feminine side, or even if they are gender fluid, if they're pansexual, if they're bisexual, they can still protect you. They can still provide for you. They don't stop being men just because they don't fit in a box. It's so weird to me, because y'all will make the same decision and keep choosing the same people, and then wonder why he doesn't understand me, he's too aggressive, he's abusive, he's narcissistic, and all of these things. But that's because you have an idea of what a man is supposed to be. You have a certain idea. You feel like he has to be super tough, and oh, he don't play that gay stuff to be a provider, and that's not true. Like, that is absolutely not true. And then we wonder why we keep having the same relationships, because you're closed-minded about what a man is and what a man is supposed to be. You have this box that you want to put them in. I don't see nothing wrong with Ramses. His hairstyle, why do y'all always focus on things that don't matter? What does his hairstyle has to do with who he is as a person, how he's going to treat her, if he's able to provide for her? Like, if they were having conversations about gender roles, and he was saying that he feels like, even the 50-50 conversation isn't, I don't mind it. But there was never a time where he said he wanted to be a house husband and he wanted the woman to take care of him. He never said that. So why do y'all feel like he's not a provider, or he can't be a provider or a protector? I don't know. It's just weird to me, but that's something that y'all, like, a lot of black women, y'all say these things about men. Y'all will say stuff like y'all want y'all men to be more emotional, and then when you see a man crying on TV, you don't like it. It's ill. Why he crying so much? Or why all these men crying? What is it? Which one is it? You want a man to be emotional, or you don't? Which one is it? Cause it's annoying. Like, I don't see nothing wrong with her being attracted to him, wanting to give him a chance, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't think that there's anything wrong with Ramses. He's actually very interesting. I like men who are different from everybody else, and he seems very interesting and very secure in himself. And he mentioned healthy masculinity, and I know that there are a lot of women out there who will say that he is not masculine, and you are so wrong. You're so wrong. There is a healthy masculine, and I feel like he is that. They also seem to have a healthy connection, the way that they talk to each other and things like that. And he opens up about never feeling good enough for his dad, and it could be for the same reasons that a lot of you women don't feel like he could be a provider, because he has a braid in his hair. He has one single braid in his hair. So y'all don't feel like a man like that could be a provider. Y'all think he's gay and he's too feminine. Like, whatever. But Marissa opens up about her dad not being around. And they talk about their family background and stuff, but what they're doing, like both of the conversations that Marissa had, the conversation with Bodon or whatever his name is, and Ramses, seems very healthy. Like, these are the one of the healthiest conversations that I'm hearing on here. Like, yeah, they're opening up about their past and their life, but it doesn't come off as trauma bonding. It doesn't come off as that. It comes off as they're getting to know each other. They're opening up with each other or whatever. And he asked her, like, if she saw herself marrying him, and she said she needed more time, because this is the second episode. I don't know how long they talk, but she said she needed more time to decide, because she has two of the guys that she likes, so she's weighing her options. And I love that. I love when Black women weigh their options rather than going with the safe choice of who they think is going to choose them back. I love that. Weigh your options. Take your time to figure it out. But to me, Ramses seems like he has a good head on his shoulders. They both seem like they got a good head on their shoulders, and that they would work. They would have a healthy relationship. But that's something that we'll have to see. But I just hate how y'all try to project y'all's prejudice onto people. Because it is prejudice. It's homophobia. A lot of the stuff that y'all say about men, when y'all see a man cry, y'all make him feel bad. Homophobia. When y'all see a man looking different, his style being different and not the stereotypical style of what men dress like, y'all try to say they're feminine, whatever. Homophobia. That's homophobia. And a lot of y'all are going to say, I'm not homophobic. Yes, you are. You are homophobic. That is why you cannot see this man as a provider just because he has a braid, a rat tail. That was a style that a lot of men used to wear in the 90s. Nobody called them feminine for that. Why all of a sudden he feminine? Because he got that hairstyle. I don't know, but it's annoying. I'm in between doing content for my book, so that's why my hair is different. But let's get to Taylor received a sunflower and a note from Garrett. And this is what made me see that the dude who was bragging about being rich is actually Leo, not Garrett. So my mistake on that part. It was really cute. Like, she read the note, she was really happy to receive it. She was really giddy. She couldn't stop laughing and smiling and stuff like that. It was really, really cute. So then it goes to Alex and Tim. They talk about their like college experience, and he talks about his college experience, and how he went to college and how he felt stupid a lot of the times because of the education system wasn't really set up for people with his learning style or whatever, and how he used to feel stupid, but he would do well on like the placement test, the test or whatever. And both of them talk about their background and stuff like that. She said that her grandpa was in the Nation of Islam, and he knew was it Elijah Muhammad or whatever the man name was, and she has a picture of him in her house. But she said her grandpa was against college, and she said even though he was against college, she still wanted to go, but when it was time for her to go, they didn't have the money for it or whatever. um then Tim talks about his sister's death. One of them died from lupus, and he said she ended up getting sick, and she checked herself into the hospital and never checked back out. So she died in the hospital. Okay, so they're talking about the whole experience with his sister's death and how he took it, and then he starts talking about his childhood and like the good memories that he had with his sisters and stuff like that. And he said something that really like was about to make me cry. He said he feels good and he feels like he gets to give his parents one more daughter by marrying a woman. And he's saying that he wants it to be Alex or whatever. And, it was so sweet him saying that. It was just so touching to hear him say that, because he lost his sister and you could tell his family was really important to him. And for him to say that he gets to give his parents one more daughter was just so like touching to me. And I like their connection. I hope it's genuine. Like, their connection is really beautiful, and I hope it's genuine. I hope we get to see how things play out between the two of them, and I hope it's a great connection. um so it goes to Taylor and Garrett. So I was a mess for the and first 3 days. I didn't know what to do. I'm trying to follow them. And they go to the two of them in a pod, and when she goes to her pod, there's flowers for her there. And when he goes to his, um it's letters. So she gives him letters that her father wrote to her grandmother, and she starts reading the letters. And she also reads a letter that she wrote for him, and it's just such a sweet, touching moment, like her sharing the love between her grandparents, and then back in the day, them writing letters, and how she wants letter writing to be a thing, because her it's kind of like passed down from her grandparents, and that's something that she wants to incorporate or whatever. And so she reads the letter that she writes to him, and it's just so sweet, it's so touching, it's beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, for a minute I thought she was gonna propose to him, because it was so romantic, and she was just talking, and it was so moving and touching that he was speechless. He didn't even know how to follow that. He didn't know what to say after what she said or whatever. And I don't blame him. Like, it was just such a sweet moment or whatever, that I don't know. I feel like the 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 cast on this season right here are really being vulnerable, and they're really like being romantic and like coming with the gestures, and it feels authentic. If it doesn't just feel like they're doing it for TV, but it feels authentic, like they really are doing these things from the bottom of their hearts. And like, I don't know, I just enjoy watching it. I love seeing love, especially when it feels genuine, it's coming off as genuine. I love it.
And it was tough, but that fire started with us, and it just started to grow and grow, and there's nothing else I could think about. I mean, I knew the answer was there all along. I wasn't coming in here expecting or really even hoping. Like, I didn't expect it at all. And you weren't in here like dying to just get engaged with anyone. You were looking for me.
Hey, when it comes to you, Garrett, I really think we could have it all. But I didn't think that was possible before coming in here.
Taylor, I love everything about you. I think you're an incredible person. I think you're intelligent. You're very caring, kind, you're authentic, you're passionate, I'm just in here. I've fallen in love with the person that you are. I've fallen in love with all your little quirks. I'm looking forward to seeing more of them. I love finding out things about you that you're not even telling me, just picking up on them. And the more and more I peel back these layers, I'm loving the person that's underneath. It's been an incredible experience just getting to know you. Our connection too, you talked about it, the magnetic feeling, it's crazy. It's electric. Like it's a very visceral experience. It's like every molecule of me just wants to come through this wall and to be with you. It's like our bodies are telling us that we're meant to be together, and we just have to make sure our heads didn't get in the way. Taylor Morgan Krause.
Oh.
Will you marry me?
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Of course she was gonna say yes.
Oh my God.
This was so cute, y'all. Like, I'm signing up. Forget this. I'm signing up. I'm signing up for Love Is Blind. When they come to South Carolina, slide in my DMs so I can be on the show, because
Just gotta soak this in.
you want to see a show, put me on
I don't
it.
imagine it, but honestly, it's like.
But it's so,
the
that was
most
so
amazing feeling in the
beautiful.
world.
That was so freaking beautiful.
Very lucky.
Here we are.
So Taylor and Garrett is the first couple to get engaged.
Blue?
I am. Just a heads up.
I'm not gonna tell you what I'm wearing. Wouldn't you be just as confused and lost as I am? Equally as excited. I'll see you soon.
See you soon, babe.
That was so freaking cute, y'all. That was so freaking cute. The roses, the letters, Okay, so we're back with our original style, and we're back to finish the reaction for season 2. So after that beautiful proposal with Garrett and Taylor, it goes to Monica and Steven, and they talk about politics and stuff like that. And he's talking about how he voted for Hillary. He voted for Trump because he didn't like Hillary. And like, I just kind of feel like Steven be having a lot of red flags, and Monica just missed them because she just kind of goes with the flow. And him voting for Trump is not the red flag, but the reason for him voting for Trump is the red flag. You voted for Trump because you didn't like Hillary, and I understand that, because during that election it was like, these are not nobody's top picks, okay? So we had to decide who was the better choice out of what we had. But him saying that he didn't even it wasn't educated. He just voted for Trump because he didn't like Hillary. Not for no other reasons, like not for policies or nothing like that, not for what he stood for or nothing like that. I would respect him if he said he voted for Trump because he agreed with what Trump stood for. He agreed with Make America Great Again. I would have respected him more if he would have said that. But he didn't. He said he voted for Trump because he didn't like Hillary. Okay, so that's red flag number 1. The fact that he is telling her about he got on a conversation about like race and ethnicity, and he's like, I've always identified as a white guy. And I'm like, what else would you have identified as? Like, what do you mean? What else? And then he goes on to say that his dad is 3/5 black. He did a test on Ancestry, and it was this much percentage Congolese and this percentage this and that, and he's what he got West African in his blood, and it was probably like 0.5%, 0.0005% this 0. Like, because he never says what percentage specifically, right? So I'm sure it's a small percentage. And he's like, I identified it as white my whole life, but I'm actually mixed with West African. And she's like nodding her head and like, oh, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. That's cool. That's so cool. That's so cool. That man is white. lady. He's white. I know you can't see him, but that 3/5 black is wild. Who even measures their race like that? Who even measures it like that? 3/5 black. Your dad is 3/5 black. So that doesn't even mean he's half black, which would make you 1/4 black. Like you don't even got that in you. So you got a quarter of 3/5 black. That's not correct math, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. You are like 1/15 black, and that's just me being generous. And you got the audacity to say that you've identified white as white your whole life, but you're mixed with West African. No, you're not, sir. If every white person get their DNA thing done with ancestry, they're gonna have a little bit of African in them, because I don't have to explain the history, right? I'm sure I don't have to explain the history. That is why you have a little black in your blood. That and the fact that we were the first people on this in this world. Nobody is walking around claiming to be 3/5 black. We don't do that. Okay? And the fact that she just was okay with it, Monica comes off like she just goes with the flow, and she comes off as a pick me, but I don't even really think that she's pick me. I think that Monica just doesn't care about certain things. Certain things she doesn't care about. She just goes with the flow, and she seems like a people pleaser, and like, I'm gonna agree with everything you say so I can be looked at as a good person. I don't like, and then she talks about her ethnicity, and she says that she's Honduran and African American. And she says that her dad has some uh she says Indian, but she means Native American in him. And he calls her a mutt. He says, You're a mutt. And she's like, Yeah, I am a mutt. What are we talking about? What is wrong? What's going on here? A mutt? Ain't nobody calling me a mutt, and I'm gonna be okay with it. I don't care about the terminology, and I know what he means. It means you mix with a lot of things, or you're mixed, you're not 100%. Like, I know what it means, but that word should have died a long time ago. A mutt? And she agreed to it. I don't know. He just giving me a lot of red flags, and she also giving me red flags because she just agrees with everything that he says, and like, she just goes along with everything that he says. So that makes me feel like she doesn't have a backbone. Really, she tries to appease everybody so she can be liked. And it's annoying. And I'm just about to move on to Alex and Tyler. So when Alex goes into the room, there's food there for them or whatever. And Tyler tells her that he wrote a prayer so they can, enjoy their food or whatever. And she's excited. He says the prayer. And I just feel like, he's playing well to her desires and like giving her the things that she wants based off of the things that they've talked about. That's why I say it's really um important what you divulge to a person you're dating really soon, because they're going to use all that information to try to pull you in a lot more. Sometimes it could be genuine and sometimes it could be not. And I feel like because of everything that's coming out about Tyler in the media, that I don't know, maybe it's not genuine. I don't know, because I feel like you can have a past, and yeah, like those things could have happened or whatever, cuz I didn't hear that he was married or he was like in a relationship with anybody right now. They're just saying that I think they were saying that I'm sorry. I'm picking with my ear or whatever. I'm sorry. But I think that they were saying that he had 3 children and like he was a sperm donor or something like that, but he was present in the kid's life. I don't know. I don't know what's true or not. A lot of the times when I hear things that come out about people when it comes to certain things, like for instance, I'm reviewing this and like information is already coming out before the reunion. So I'm hearing it, but I'm also trying to ignore it at the same time so I can give my honest opinions about these people when it comes to like while I'm watching the episode. So for that reason, we're going to not pay attention to what is said in the media, right? We're going to believe that this is Tyler. Okay, this is what we're seeing. We're gonna go with what we're seeing. Okay, so he. I feel like it's like I said, playing to all of her desires, all of the things that he feels would make her like him more. She's spiritual. She she has a good heart, things like that, so he's playing to all of those things, like he's saying the right things. He did the prayer. He talks about the abstinence, is it not abstinence, but celibacy. It says that he agrees with that, all of these things, right? And I feel like he's doing a good job. Like he's wooing her. She's drinking the Kool-Aid. But then it goes on to, and they listen to some music together. And then while they're listening to music, he's like, "Are you listening?" And she says, "Yeah." And he says, "I love you. And you will always be safe with me. No matter what happens here, you will always be safe with me." And I also realized that Tyler says that a lot. Like whenever he's about to like say something like that to her, like confess his love or something like that, he'll say, "No matter what happens after this, or no matter what happens here, no matter what happens after this, you will always be safe with me," or I will love you," or "I will remember this," or "This will always be special to me." It's always no matter what happens after this, as if he knows that the BS is coming. That he knows all of the stuff that's happening right now was gonna happen. So he's kind of like preparing her for it. Like, no matter what happens after this is how I feel about you. I'm gonna feel like this about you always. And you have to notice these things because they matter. Okay. So she gets emotional or whatever. Did she tell him she loved him too? I don't think so. I think she doesn't. Not in that moment right there. But she gets emotional or whatever, and it like goes to Taylor and Garrett about to meet, but then the episode goes off on right before they meet each other. So in episode 3 we will see what happens when they meet. But let me know what y'all think about this episode and like all of the drama that's going on about Tyler and Alex or whatever. Let me know what y'all think about that. Like we got room to be delusional and just leave the drama outside, and we also got room to talk about the drama as well. So let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about this video, what y'all think about my review. Also, do y'all want me to do like record my reactions to while I'm watching it, or do y'all want me to just give my review? Like, do y'all want to see more reaction, me watching it and reacting in real time, or do y'all just want the review? Because it can get long by doing that. But like I said, thank y'all for watching this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye. Before you go, check out my website at srgraham.org and subscribe to my mailing list to get exclusive updates on works in progress, other news, and blog posts. Thank you.